Okay. That's mine. Good morning. It's a great day in South Carolina and a great day in Greenwood County. Thank you for being here with us today as we celebrate a very momentous occasion with the building of the new carbon fiber facility for Tajin. And today we will break ground on that exciting project. I'm Heather Simmons Jones, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Greenwood Partnership Alliance, and I will be serving as your MC today for the program. At this time, I would ask that you all rise with me as we have the national anthems of both the United States and Japan played. Thank you. Thank you very much. You may be seated. And a very special thank you to the 96 Marching Band for being with us today. They are award winning, and I think just from what we heard in that brief moment, we understand why. So we know it was a lot for you to get out here, and we really very much appreciate your time. So thank you. I'd like to start this morning by taking an opportunity to thank all of our elected officials who have made time out of their busy schedules to be with us. Our Governor, Henry McMaster, thank you so much for being back in Greenwood, Governor. Senator Floyd Nicholson, House District 13, John McCravey, Mayor of 96, Michael Rowe, Mayor of Abbeville, Santana Delana Freeman, Chairman of Greenwood County Council, Steve Brown, members of Greenwood County Council, Gonza Bryant, Edith Childs, Theo Lane, and Chuck Moats, member of 96 Town Council, Bridget Porter, members of the Greenwood Commissioners of Public Works, Michael Monahan, Art Bush, and Henry Watts, member of the Metropolitan Sewer District, Tim Burke, member of the 96 School District, Paul Cobb, City of Greenwood Council members Nikki Hutto and Ken Wiltshire. Also have Kelly Long representing Senator Tim Scott's office, Madison Cooper representing Senator Lindsey Graham's office. And I hope that I did not miss anyone, but if I did, my sincerest apologies. So thank you all for being here today with us. It's now my pleasure to introduce Jane Thomas, and I had the pleasure of also introducing her last fall when she was the speaker at our annual meeting. For those of you that were there, you know that we are so lucky to have her back today in Greenwood with us. Jane is the president of Tasian Holdings USA Incorporated, which is headquartered in New York and Northern California. In her role, Jane represents the interests of Tasian Limited in both the United States and Latin America. If you would, let's give Jane a warm Greenwood welcome and have her join me on stage. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Well, as I was taught to say in South Carolina, morning. And for my Japanese colleagues, ohayo gozaimasu. And if I said something other than good morning there, my apologies. Well, it's my privilege and honor to welcome you all on behalf of Tasian Holdings and on behalf of Dr. Jun Suzuki of Tasian Limited to the official groundbreaking of Tasian's state-of-the-art carbon fiber facility here in Greenwood. This is a celebratory moment for us, and I really appreciate everyone coming out to witness this milestone. I also would like to introduce our distinguished guests. Again, the Governor of South Carolina, the Honorable Henry McMaster, Consul General of Japan in Atlanta, the Honorable Takashi Shinozuka, and the Minister for Economy of the Japanese Embassy in Washington, D.C., Junichiro Kuroda. Thank you all for coming and for your international partnership efforts. It makes a huge difference to our communities across the U.S. Now, a question I get frequently asked is, why did Tasian pick Greenwood? And as I've mentioned to some of you in the past, there was a complex matrix of factors looked at by some very smart people: infrastructure, incentives, access to water. But there were three compelling reasons why we chose Greenwood: the people, and the people. The unwavering commitment of the city, the county, the state, and the local business partners was really unparalleled. Without a doubt, we would not be here today were it not for the extraordinary support of this community. Let me give you an example. The first person I met in connection with this project was Wayne Trotter. Tireless worker, selfless, kind, sharp as a tack, and relentlessly persistent. That's code for stubborn. Where's Wayne? But in truth, in this day and age, it is really hard to find people like that to be on your team. People of strong intention, clear spirit, and steadfast loyalty. It's incredibly difficult. But now I know where you find them. You find them in South Carolina. That's where you find people like Dr. Ray Brooks, who came out of retirement to help us. Where I come from, wild horses can't get people out of retirement. Miss Heather Jones, a force of nature, really, and Greenwood's secret weapon. Secretary of Commerce Bobby Hitt, a remarkable advocate for this state and for our project. Mark Wagner, Mr. Wayne Fitz, they paved the path for us every step of the way. The incredible people at O'Neill Construction and Duke Power, and more than I could possibly name. All of you together formed this powerhouse coalition, and you were literally unbeatable. However, I should have known that a state that can produce Smoke and Joe Frazier, Dizzy Gillespie, and my favorite, Chubby Checkers, produces people with this incredible combination of grit and grace. Very powerful. As you may know, Tasian announced in 2016 that the company was investing over $600 million in a state-of-the-art carbon fiber facility here in Greenwood. That announcement I consider to be our first milestone. The second milestone is this groundbreaking. And the third milestone, I believe, will be the ribbon cutting. And after that, we will have an operating plant on this land, somewhere around over there. And it will produce a product that many consider to be the most significant manufactured material of our generation. Because it is lighter and stronger than most metals, it has revolutionized the aerospace industry, auto racing industry, and soon the automotive industry. It has been in spaceships to the moon, and it's been in our orthopedic implants. It has endless clean energy applications. It's been called the superhero of building materials for skyrises. And frankly, industrial demand for this product is literally surging from every conceivable market sector. What an incredible industry to bring to Greenwood. This site will also create hundreds of jobs. It will employ sons and daughters, and it will support families. And these will be good jobs with training. And my view of the future is this plant will be a part of the community, just as Fujifilm is part of the community. And we may have softball games against Fujifilm, and Fujifilm may win. And then we'll have ping pong tournaments against Fujifilm, and Fujifilm will lose badly. But my point is, this plant will be a living entity. And people may not remember a time when the plant wasn't here, as if it was, formed by tectonic plates colliding. But this plant will be so ingrained in this community. And someday in the future, someone in this group will meet up with someone who works at this plant. And you'll be able to say, I was at the groundbreaking. And they will say, the what? And you'll say, the groundbreaking. Where you work at one time was nothing but dirt and bramble for as far as the eye could see. And they will look at you in awe and say, you are really old. But I hope you smile. I hope then you smile and know that you were part of a team that put into place a series of events that led to a plant, that produced a material that helps our society and that gives great jobs to the community. So I hope you just smile and go, yup. Tayshian's corporate philosophy is enhancing the quality of life, and it's embedded in everything they do. It's not just in making next generation fibers, it's also in creating communities. So it's not just what they make. From my experience, it's how they treat people, how they treat one another. I know from personal experience, Tayshian doesn't just talk the talk, they walk the walk. From my experience, Tayshian creates work cultures of respect and honor and dignity. And these are the exact traits that are deeply embedded in the culture and history and the people of South Carolina. Now, you all live here, so you may not know this, but I'm from another part of the country, and I see, when I interact with people, a code of honor here, a culture of respect, and an ethos of kindness everywhere you go here, which I think makes this a perfect home for Tayshian. And, as they say in the movies, I think this is the start or continuation of a beautiful friendship. So thank you all for being here to celebrate this milestone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. As we continue, I would now like to invite another distinguished guest to the stage, Mr. Koyama, Executive Officer of Tayshian Limited. Mr. Koyama has been with the company since 1986, working in various departments to provide growth and success for Tayshian. He has been Tayshian Limited's Executive Officer since 2017. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Koyama to the stage. And so y'all know, he arrived at 4:30 this morning from Japan. So he's running on some fumes right now. But thank you, and please join us.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Teijin Limited, I would like to thank you for joining us for our momentous groundbreaking, marking the commencement of the greenfield construction of Teijin's new carbon fiber manufacture facility in the United States. Before I go into the overview of this project, let me give you quite a quick background of Teijin Limited. Our Teijin, a global manufacturing leader for now 100 years in various business fields, our company has navigated the innovation and advancement of the next generation technologies in the responsible of the various global issues and needs, while striving to enhance the quality of life for the people everywhere in the world. Our team of approximately 20,000 employees worldwide, working hand in hand, all with shared belief in our mission to deliver solutions to our customer and to you. Today, Teijin Limited is present globally and supplies high-performance fiber like carbon fiber and healthcare products and electric and electronics products and many other products to our customers worldwide. We are very proud that we are adding our new carbon fiber manufacturing facility here in Greenwood. So establishing a carbon fiber manufacturing facility in the US is the part of our goal to grow our business footprint in the US, one of the global hubs for the aerospace and automotive industries. This facility will initially focus on the manufacturing of carbon fiber products for the US aerospace industries, and eventually we plan to expand our capacity to respond to the needs from the automotive application and industries. Our carbon fiber will be used for improving safety and comfort for the transportation business, while also contributing to the reduction of carbon dioxide emission and saving energies. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, the carbon fiber business is one of our cores of the Teijin Limited. We are very grateful that the state of South Carolina has extended its helping hand for us to work together to create a new business here in Greenwood. The South Carolina has proven to us that it has an unparalleled pro-business environment and is committed to become a magnet for the new jobs, investment and growth, which is in line with the current U.S. policy toward more manufacturing and more employment within this country. So together, let us start futuristic business here. And together, let us make South Carolina the manufacturing renaissance of the world. Together, let us prove that South Carolina, where folks is making the first class product. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to wish the best to our colleagues and partners in South Carolina as we move into the construction phase of the Teijin's carbon fiber manufacturing facilities here in Greenwood, South Carolina. I would like also to thank of all of you this morning for taking a very precious time to make this groundbreaking ceremony a success. Last but not least, in 1969, the Captain Neil Armstrong said the very famous phrase, he is the captain of the Apollo 11, that just after first landing on the moon, he said, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." So let us mark today as our one small step forward for the mutual prosperity of South Carolina and Teijin. One giant leap for the future of the transportation of the world. So help me God, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those comments. At this time, I'm pleased to invite our chairman of Greenwood County Council, Mr. Steve Brown, to the stage, and he's going to offer a few comments on behalf of the community. Mr. Brown is a longtime resident of Greenwood County, former city manager, and a member of the Greenwood Partnership Alliance. And at this time, I'll have Mr. Brown join us for some comments. Thank you.
Good morning. To the Honorable Henry McMaster, to the Teijin officials, to our many guests, and our local partners, on behalf of my colleagues on Greenwood County Council, I extend to you a warm, heartfelt welcome to Greenwood County, the site of Teijin's new manufacturing facility. We are certainly all excited. Today we take another step in our journey that began a number of years ago. It would be impossible for me to name all who have been significant partners in bringing us to this groundbreaking ceremony today. However, I would be remiss if I failed to acknowledge the Partnership Alliance, the South Carolina Department of Commerce, our utility providers, the Greenwood Commissioners of Public Works, the Greenwood Metropolitan Commission, and Duke Energy, Piedmont Technical College, the Greater Greenwood Chamber of Commerce, South Carolina Department of Transportation, our existing industry officials, and especially Fujifilm, who stood tall for our community and gave a positive report regarding their many years of doing business in Greenwood County. And oh yes, the people of Greenwood County who voted positively for a capital sales tax initiative that will provide funds to construct the Center for Manufacturing Excellence on the Piedmont Technical College campus. For all, regardless of the magnitude, we are grateful. No one has been more instrumental than Teijin's Director of Government Relations, Mr. Wayne Trotter. Mr. Trotter has done yeoman's work bringing this project to fruition. I recall a day when I received a call from Mr. Trotter who said he had some concerns. We were involved in a lot of negotiations regarding many of the incentives. And he said, "I have some concerns I want to discuss with you." It just so happened that our meeting to discuss his concerns happened at the most unlikely place, the Starbucks coffee shop. Many good things happen over coffee. We were able to address his concerns and the process moved on to completion. Mr. Trotter, I say to you this morning, thanks for all that you have done. Through this process, I have not only gained a professional colleague, but I have also gained a friend. And then to the Teijin officials, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work with each of you during this process. You have been gracious in all aspects. Each meeting has revealed so much to us about who Teijin is. Nothing was more apparent about this industry giant than when Jane Thomas president of Tajin Holdings USA, said to us, and you have met her already, she said, "You have been a thoughtful group of committed citizens, which I believe is going to change this part of the world in Greenwood. On a macro level, manufacturing is good for the economy, but on the micro level, it changes lives." I cannot fail to note an excerpt from Tajin's brand statement. When people get along exceptionally well, it's called good chemistry. So for the Tajin Group, human chemistry also expresses how much we value the relationships we have with our customers. The bonds of trust are priceless. I say to you today, we have the same values. We submit to you once again to follow through with our promises and our commitments. A project of this magnitude will have bumps in the road. We will do our best to make those bumps smooth. As I said to you at our recent meeting in Greenville, we South Carolinians say what we mean and we mean what we say. I trust that you will feel today our sincere welcome to our Greenwood family. And this is for my California friend, Jane Thomas. We are just tickled pink to have you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for those heartfelt comments. I think many of us in the audience today echo those. Thank you very much for delivering that. Our next guest today that I have the pleasure of introducing is Mr. Shinazuka, the Consul General of Japan. Mr. Shinazuka has held this position since 2016. He oversees the economic and cultural relationship between the southeastern states and Japan. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shinazuka to the stage.
Good morning, you all. It is a great pleasure to be here as we celebrate the groundbreaking of Teijin's carbon fiber business in Greenwood in the great state of South Carolina. Congratulations to Executive Officer Koyama, President Miyajima, and to all the Teijin team. Welcome to the Southeast. And thank you for inviting me to speak at such an auspicious occasion. I am also glad to see so many good friends. Governor McMaster, thank you for joining us despite your busy schedule. Secretary Heath, Senator Nicholson, it's always a pleasure to see you. This plant represents many things, including the strong partnership between Japan and South Carolina. I have had the pleasure of traveling to the Palmetto State on many occasions, and South Carolina is well known in Japan as a great place to do business. Much of the credit for this reputation goes to those who helped make this possible, many of whom are with us here today. Of course, Governor McMaster, Secretary Heath, Chairman Brown, and the community of Greenwood. Thank you for working tirelessly to not only provide incentives for companies to locate here, but also strong support once they open their doors. This is why companies like Teijin open new facilities here, because they find success through support at all levels, the state, the county, and the community. Their work helps to strengthen the partnerships between Japan and the great state of South Carolina. Teijin is one of Japan's most respected business. This name has been familiar to me since my childhood, and as one of the world's largest producers of carbon fiber, their products help build the world around us. Also notable is that this month, Teijin will celebrate its centennial anniversary. Starting in Tokyo back on June 17, 1918, who would have thought that 100 years later, Teijin would be celebrating a groundbreaking in South Carolina? Clearly, The corporate philosophy of enhancing the quality of life in harmony with society and empowering its people has resulted in a strong organization. I mention this to impress just how special this occasion truly is and how South Carolina could not ask for a more prominent manufacturers to add to its list of companies operating here. Of course, companies like Teijin are not operating in South Carolina by chance. Many Japanese companies and citizens have chosen the state of South Carolina as their home because they knew that they could do good business and enjoy southern hospitality. In fact, Japan is one of the top foreign direct investors in South Carolina. Throughout South Carolina as a whole, more than 2,100 Japanese citizens and nearly 200 Japanese companies are thriving. So each time companies like Teijin invest so much in the state, it makes my job of representing Japan in the region that much easier. Teijin should be proud to be part of the effort to make South Carolina greater as are the other companies in this wonderful state. The Japanese community is looking forward to work, thrive, and grow together with all other communities. 2017 and 2018 are very special years for the South Carolina and Japan partnership. Over the course of these 2 years, South Carolina is co-chairing joint meetings of the Southeast US-Japan and the Japan-US Southeast Associations, the SUS Japan meetings. Last year's meeting in Greenville was terrific with 2 ambassadors and 4 governors attending. This year's meeting will be held in Tokyo in October, and I hope to see many of you there, including representatives from Teijin. I am thankful to be able to provide such positive information about Teijin and other Japanese companies operating in South Carolina and the Southeast region, so that we can continue to strengthen the bonds of cooperation and friendship between America and Japan. Again, I wish Teijin much success, and thank you once again for inviting me to speak at such a promising occasion. I look forward to the grand opening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shinazuka. And at this time, I have the pleasure of introducing our South Carolina Department of Commerce Secretary of Commerce, Mr. Bobby Hitt. A longtime friend to many of us in the room, Bobby Hitt has served as Secretary of Commerce since 2011. Since that time, the South Carolina Department of Commerce has recruited approximately $32 billion in capital investment and more than 118,000 jobs. Aiming to cultivate a team-first approach to economic development in our great state, Secretary Hitt mobilized the state's many partners, our allies, both empowering them to assist in a variety of team efforts. As a result, Team South Carolina has achieved an unprecedented industry recruitment success. And at this time, I would like to ask Bobby to please join us on stage. Thank you, Secretary Hitt.
Just like at Teijin, it's all about team. And it's about team in South Carolina. And Governor McMaster and I know one thing that will work is if we all work together, and that's what we do, and that's why I think we're having the success we're having today. This is a project that's been going on a long time. It's one that's of great excitement to me. I come from the automobile industry. I understand what carbon fiber will do to revolutionize our world, and I look forward to it being a centerpiece in the automobile industry, which is very large in South Carolina, and who knows, may get larger. Wouldn't that be something? South Carolina has changed a great deal in the last 25 years. Governor McMaster and I have talked about this many times. We remember very much 25 years ago we were a textile state, we were a tobacco state, and now we are a complex manufacturing state making things that roll across the ground and fly in the air. It's a completely different orientation than where we started as a state. And that's because of the leadership, not only in our government, but also in our communities, Chairman Brown. And I thank you for what you said. It is all about community. Companies locate in communities. They don't locate in states. They located in Greenwood because Greenwood was the right place for them to locate. And you know that, Senator Nicholson. This is the atmosphere that is created here is why you're being successful. Not the incentives, not the this, not the that, even though I will say my friends in the utility business and my engineering colleagues that are here and others, a lot of work goes on in the background to make sure that this is a suitable site. It's hard work, as you know. But probably one of the greatest things that went on, as mentioned, is that Fuji stood tall. There's nothing that a community can appreciate more than the actions and reactions of their corporate citizens and their community standing up for them. There's no greater compliment for a community, for a state, than watch a company expand, or one company to cordially invite another company to literally locate across the street. That's what we call neighborliness, Jane. That's why we have it here. And we are a small state, and we all know each other. The governor probably is going to tell you we're all related to each other, and you need to get ready. And it's pretty much true. We are. If you're going to act up, and you're from South Carolina, you have to go a long way away from the state because everybody around here is related to each other. I couldn't be happier for today. This is an exciting day for South Carolina. It's an exciting day for all of Team South Carolina and all of our public sector and private sector colleagues and all the work that went in. I'm looking out in the audience at Marty and Steve and others, and I know how much work all of us have put into this, and it's very satisfying. And we're so delighted that you are here, even at 4:30 in the morning. There is coffee available. And so we appreciate you being here. It's a great day for Greenwood County in South Carolina. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Secretary Hitt. It is now my pleasure to introduce Wayne Trotter. Wayne is currently Tajin's Director of Government Relations. He has been involved with the company's site selection initiative since 2011. Wayne served abroad for 15 years as an American diplomat, a former visiting research professor at the University of South Carolina, and an adjunct professor at Clemson. Wayne also worked with a major money center bank in New York, where he was responsible for marketing and finance activities in the Middle East and Africa. I share Mr. Brown's sentiments, and that not only did we gain a colleague in Wayne, we have also gained a friend. And at this time, I would ask Mr. Trotter to join me on stage.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm a native of South Carolina, so if I don't say morning y'all, I'm going to be in deep trouble. But when I say morning y'all, I'd like to get a big morning y'all back. Morning y'all. Morning y'all. Good. We're going to have a good time today, Heather. Good morning. I have the best job in the House today, and the reason is I've been asked to introduce someone who certainly needs no introduction in South Carolina. In fact, he is known and highly regarded on the national stage as well. I would like to thank our special guest, Governor Henry McMaster, for being here today. He is South Carolina's 117th governor, a position he has held since January of 2017. If you live in our state, you've probably heard of Team South Carolina. Bobby just mentioned it. I initially thought it was nothing more than a concept. Well, I can now tell you from personal experience, Team South Carolina is much more. Much, much more. It's a reality, delivering billions of dollars of investment and creating thousands of high-paying jobs in this state. As the leader of our state and the quarterback of Team South Carolina, the governor continues to support this project and our efforts to obtain a foreign trade zone approval for the Greenwood facility. With the governor's support, we will be able not only to justify future investments in South Carolina, but to expedite them as well. We thank the governor for his sincere support and applaud his commitment to continuing the economic development of our state by taking the steps necessary to attract next generation industry to South Carolina. Tajin looks forward to a long partnership with the governor, with a long partnership with the members of Team South Carolina as we establish and grow our presence in this historic town and great state. And now it is my honor to ask Governor McMaster to the stage. Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Y'all know I'm happy to be here. By the way, I heard one of our Yankee friends came down not long ago, and I heard him say that he heard everyone saying y'all, but then he learned that all y'all is the plural of y'all. So he started saying that. This is a happy moment. I have to say, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a proud moment, a very proud moment for South Carolina to have a new partner coming to join us. Japan and South Carolina share a lot of things. And it was mentioned earlier by Jane Thomas talking about respect, honor, and kindness. That it sets us apart. But as Bobby Hitt said, everybody knows everybody. We're usually just one or two people away from even being related. And in fact, there was a young lawyer who said when he started practicing out in a rural area, he had a lot of his clients coming in, and they said that he's usually getting the same kind of question over and over. They say, Mr. Lawyer, what we want to know, if we're married in South Carolina and divorced in Georgia, are we still cousins? Those kinds. So, like Elizabeth Taylor, the great actress, said to her sixth husband, I won't keep you long. Just a few things I'd like to say to you, but this is a great day. Tajin is a great company. The values that you reflect and that you hold dear, those mentioned by Jane Thomas are those that are held dear by the people of South Carolina. And as has been mentioned, it is a thrill for me to hear it mentioned yet again, by a great company coming from another part of the world to say the same thing that we've heard other great companies that come to South Carolina from other parts of the world say. And that is, they say that the people of South Carolina are different. The people of South Carolina are different. When the people of South Carolina give you their word, shake your hand and look you in the eye, you can take it to the bank. I've heard them say it over and over, and I've heard it again today. And that's because of our core values, and that is the thing that makes this state stand out among the rest. Our history goes back. There are many reasons why we are the way we are, but it's not going to change. And especially it's not going to change when we have new partners coming to this country to work with us, share our lives here, that believe in the same things that we do. So I'm thrilled to be here at this wonderful event today. And I know there are going to be more. I know you're going to stay. I know we're going to grow together. And whatever we can do, Bobby Hitt will say as well, whatever it takes to make Tajin a success here will be done. So to finish up, I have not been to a ceremony lately where I've heard Neil Armstrong, Humphrey Bogart, and Claude Rains from Casablanca and Chubby Checker all mentioned in the same spot. So, not to be outdone, I want to quote that great philosopher Tim McGraw, also known as a country western singer. When it comes to what we're doing today, I like it, I love it, I want some more of it. And we look forward to that. Thank you very much. Koyama-san, on behalf of the 5 million happy, proud South Carolinians, I'd like to present you with this plaque. It contains our motto, which is Dum Spiro Spiro, which says, while we breathe, we hope. And we're breathing and we're hoping and we're looking forward to a great relationship with you, your company, and your country. And we thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We have a little something for you from the Japanese side.
Thank you, sir.
This is a Japanese sake and very traditional cup of Ebeki.
Sake.
Thank you for being with us today, Governor McMaster. We appreciate your kind words, and we appreciate you being back in Greenwood. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Mr. Miyajima, President of Teijin Carbon Fibers, and ask him to join me on stage. Mr. Miyajima has been with Teijin Limited since 1989 and will oversee the new carbon facility right here in Greenwood, South Carolina. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Miyajima to the stage for our closing remarks. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for the groundbreaking ceremony of Teijin Carbon Fiber Manufacturing Facility here in Greenwood. Today I prepared two patterns in case of ready or but very comfortable letter, and I don't need this paper. Yeah. As the president of Teijin Carbon Fibers Incorporated, I'd like to extend our heartfelt, deep appreciation to all the participants to today's ceremony, including Governor McMaster and Japan Council General, Mr. Shinosuke and Mr. Kuroda, and our dear friends and colleagues. As mentioned in the previous speech, Teijin is committed to work together with the people in South Carolina to integrate our carbon fibers business with the United States industries, growing together and achieve the prosperity in years to come. As Council General Mr. Shinosuke mentioned, Teijin is now celebrating its 100th anniversary. The 101st year starts here in Greenwood, and you just have witnessed our very first step towards taking root in the soil of South Carolina. It's now our great responsibility to achieve our goal for contributing to the United States-Japan economic relationship and improving the quality of life for people all over the world. I'd like to say once again, we are so grateful for all of you who came out today and look forward to what to come. I never forget today, forever. God bless and God bless South Carolina. Thank you.
Before I invite our dignitaries up to do a turn of the dirt, you know, we've all attended a lot of groundbreakings where, you know, what they hand out, the traditional gold shovel. Well, in honor of today, Teijin has made its own shovel, and it's made out of carbon fiber composite and aramid composite. The shaft is made out of carbon fiber, and the blade is made out of aramid fiber. Much lighter, much stronger than your typical gold shovel or any other shovel for that fact. So at this time, I'd like to invite Governor McMaster to the turn of the dirt. Catherine? Consul General Shinosuke, Mr. Koyama, Mr. Kuroda, Secretary Hitt, Mr. Makari, Chairman Brown, Mr. Miyajima, Mr. Inui, and Heather Jones. Tell how light that is. Look at that. Also flanking them, if I could ask the following people to sort of go on the other side. Mr. Ito, Mr. Fujiwara, Mr. Ogawa, Daniel Young, Jane Thomas, and myself. Everybody said we coordinate the picture taking. I've been told that I'm to count to 3. I'm from South Carolina. I hope I can count that high. So, 1, 2, 3. Take your seats again. Heather will close out the ceremony. And then
Well, how was that for a groundbreaking ceremony? It has been my pleasure to serve as your MC today. This has been just a wonderful event. I'm glad to see so many familiar faces and to meet so many new friends today. A huge thank you for all of you for coming out. A huge thank you for the weather holding off and letting us get through without incident. We are excited to have this long-lasting relationship with all of you. And again, just really look forward to the years to come. At this time, I would like to remind you that you were invited to join us for lunch at Stony Point Golf Club, just a couple of miles away. We hope that you will make the time to be with us. And with that, we are dismissed. God bless and safe travels back to your homes. Thank you very much.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, what would you do?